One that's taught by many of my colleagues is the 1/128th method. This is a fast and easy way to compute spray volumes. In the simplest terms possible, this method measures sprayer output over a small area, equivalent to 1/128th of an acre. 1/128th of 43,560 square feet, the number of square feet in 1 acre, is equal to 340 square feet. So we'll be measuring volume output over 340 square feet. This number, 128, is significant because there are 128 fluid ounces in each gallon. Based upon this method, water collected during calibration in ounces corresponds to gallons per acre, or GPA. Let's work an example. Step 1 is to measure an area equal to 340 square feet. While considering the length of our boom or width of our sprayer output, if using a single nozzle sprayer, the boom on our sprayer has 9 nozzles spaced evenly 20 inches apart. 9 times 20 equals 180 inches. 180 inches divided by 12, because there are 12 inches per foot, equals 15 feet.
Now let's just kind of address some rate calculations. It's common on labels and other sources to see these abbreviations, a 1 in 5 or a 1 in 10. All right? What does that really mean? Well, that last number, the 5 or 10 in this case, really tells you the total amount of the final solution. Okay? It's not something you're putting in. That's the total amount of final solution. All right? So what you're doing then in a 1 in 10 solution is you're going to use 1 part of that disinfestant to 9 parts water to make that solution. So that's a total of 10 parts. All right? So it's 1 part plus 9 parts equals 10. All right? That's a fairly common misunderstanding in this whole ratio rate.
So you want to make sure you have a good angle each time you come through here and you make a sweep. So I'll show you a proper technique right now. Now, if you saw in that, I got good spacing in between each sweep. And I wasn't doing what we talked about before, where you're overlapping and you're just sweeping the same area over and over, disturbing where the insects are in front of you. Whenever you go through here and sweep, if you're not pulling any leaves off the plants and getting them into your sweep net, you're not doing a very good job. But also, you don't want to go through here and be like a weed eater, ripping all the leaves off the plants and hitting them too hard. You want to find a good middle ground on getting a few leaves in your sweep net, but you don't want to just be tearing the plants up or not. And so when I'm coming through here, doing these sweeps, I'm getting a few leaves in here, but a lot of times you'll see people come through and they just don't have very much force, which really isn't knocking those bugs off of the plant. But then sometimes you'll see people come through and they like to just see all the leaves flying off the plants. That's a little excessive in my opinion, but you want to find a good middle ground of how hard to hit those plants.
Heavy rainfall following application of herbicide to dry soils can wash the product off, which can affect activity to the target plant and cause non-target damage. Heavy rainfall in sandy soils could leach the herbicide out of the root zone before it's absorbed. Saturated soils from rainfall can cause plant stress and inhibit herbicide translocation. Moisture from a previous rainfall can cause wet stems and bark to repel oil mixed herbicides used in basal bark applications, and wet foliage dilutes foliar applied herbicides. Wind. Wind negatively affects herbicide coverage of foliar applications and reduces absorption. Wind also results in drift and damage to non-target plants. Always, always, always avoid application during windy conditions.